Maybe you've heard that if you don't drink a protein shake right after your workout, that you'll be missing out on some serious gains. Truth be told, there was a time that I thought this was true. I'd do my last rep, pop the cap on my shaker bottle, and guzzle away. Stay tuned to this video to find out what you need to know about what and when to eat before and after your workouts. We've been doing this whole fitness thing for a long time now, and bro science claims like this will still pop up from time to time. Luckily, research and science have come a long way also, and we can speak with much more certainty about both pre and post-workout nutrition thanks to that research and our understanding of the human body. To understand pre and post-workout nutrition, we need to talk both about the body and the food we put into it. Now, before we get into the specifics, let's keep in mind we aren't Olympians here, and all of this nutrient timing information is just the tip of the iceberg, 1% stuff. The 99% stuff is just showing up consistently, putting in the work, and sleeping enough and eating mostly whole foods in the right quantities. Okay, let's get into it. We exercise and lift weights for a few different reasons. Likely for you, the main reason is to build and maintain strength and muscle. When we work out, we're breaking down tissue. And when we recover by sleeping and eating, we are repairing and building new tissue. The breakdown phase is called the catabolic part, and the rebuilding part is the anabolic part. To build muscle and make progress in the gym, we need to consider the balance between these two things. We need to be spending more time in an anabolic state than in a catabolic state. You can't starve yourself, work out 7 days a week with intensity, and expect to not wither away or get injured. This is why nutrition is so important to what we are doing here. It is the key. It's the part that often gets ignored because it takes some effort, education, and discipline. Okay, back to that balance. We know that we need to be in an anabolic state. What gets us there, you ask? Muscle protein synthesis, the internal process of building and repairing muscle tissue. We need to be stimulating muscle protein synthesis with our food choices and our training. We've talked in the past about amino acids, and specifically the branched chain amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and valine. These are the amino acids that are primarily in animal protein sources that signal your body to begin the repair and rebuilding process. Some plant-based sources of protein like soy, rice, and beans do have the branched chain amino acids, but often in small quantities. So we know we need to eat protein. When should we eat it, and how much of it should we eat if we are trying to optimize muscle growth and performance? If you train intensely with weights in the morning and you haven't eaten since dinner the night before, it would be a good idea to get a healthy dose of protein within a couple hours of working out. How much depends on what your protein source is and how big of a person you are. In general, shoot for a breakfast with around 30 grams of protein from a whey or veggie-based shake, or better yet, have a meal with eggs, meat, or dairy. This will be enough protein to prevent excessive muscle breakdown and to speed up the recovery process. If you train at another time during the day and you've had a meal with about 30 grams of protein recently, there's no need to eat more protein pre-workout. Muscle protein synthesis levels stay elevated for several hours after eating. I know what you're thinking. Should I eat carbs before working out? Absolutely. Remember, carbohydrates are converted to glucose in your body, and muscles, along with a million other bodily functions, run on glucose. Research shows us that elevated blood glucose levels during a workout not only can result in improved performance, but also preserve the stored glucose called glycogen in your muscles and liver. You're basically burning the top part of your gas tank for energy without having to dip into your reserves so much. So if pre-workout carbs fuel more productive workouts, you're going to be able to make faster progress both in the gym and in muscle growth. The next logical question is, how many grams of carbohydrates should I eat before I work out? The cop-out answer is, it depends. It depends on what type of exercise you do. Hard weightlifting, hill sprints, CrossFit, marathons. Your body has 3 primary energy systems that you use for energy. Those energy systems use different amounts of carbs. The shorter and more intense the effort, the more carbs you need. The longer and less intense training, it can rely on dietary fat for energy. But we always aim to leave you with concrete takeaways from these videos, so A 2006 study done at Victoria University in Melbourne, Australia found that between 30 and 40 grams of carbs eaten at about 30 minutes before a workout is sufficient. The key is to find a carbohydrate source that you tolerate well before you exercise. Pro tip, a piece of cheesecake is probably not the answer. Blakely and I prefer lighter carb sources like fruit, rice cakes, or even a carb supplement like highly branched cyclodextrin. Don't overcomplicate it. Lastly, on the pre-workout front, let's talk about fat. Dietary fat should be kept on the lighter side before and after your workouts. Fat digests much slower than protein and carbs, and when it's paired with other foods in a meal, it will slow down the absorption of the entire thing. So don't chase your protein shake with a couple tablespoons of peanut butter. Alrighty, you've eaten your pre-workout food, you've hit the gym, and you've gotten the work done. Now what? Let's talk about what and when to eat after your workout for best results. After we exercise, we're in a catabolic state, and we should aim to get out of that and into an anabolic state in a reasonable amount of time. What the heck does that mean? Since our goal is to get the process of muscle protein synthesis started, we need to eat some protein. Do we need to drop our last set of curls and immediately drink our protein shake, bro? No. But what about the anabolic window, bro? Even so. Especially if you took our advice and had a pre-workout meal within a few hours of training. Research shows that protein synthesis rates remain elevated for about 3 hours after eating a high protein meal. So the real takeaway here is don't hit a hard workout and then skip your next meal or go several hours without getting 30 to 40 grams of protein in. You'll be staying in a counterproductive state of breaking muscle down when you could be rebuilding. How about carbohydrates post-workout? We're big fans of getting a carb source post-workout, but as with most things, you don't need to overdo it. Why should we even eat carbs after a hard workout, you ask? Well, remember, intense exercise not only burns off blood glucose, but also stored glycogen. Eating carbs post-workout starts the restoration of those depleted supplies. This is less important for lower intensity exercise, but intense exercise like short sprints, heavy weightlifting, and CrossFit can put a dent in your glycogen stores. Bro Science often touts the benefits of spiking insulin after a workout to stimulate extra muscle growth. But unfortunately, research done at McMaster University in Ontario did not support the bros on this one. I will point out though that high carb diets do go hand in hand with building muscle versus low carb diets. Reason being that high carb diets are positively correlated to both productive workouts and overall elevated insulin levels, which do promote muscle growth. Okay, we covered a lot of ground here. Let's recap the highlights so you can walk away with a clear understanding without getting stuck in the weeds. The big picture is to focus on your overall nutrition. Eat protein. Eat it at every meal and get mostly animal sources that are rich in amino acids. Eat in amounts that support your activity level and your goals, but not so much that you store excess body fat. Then we can get more specific. Have a good protein source before you work out to elevate muscle protein synthesis. Eat some easily digestible carbs before you work out to improve your performance. Keep your pre and post workout meals low on fat. Don't skip your next meal after your workout. Get out of that catabolic state by eating protein and throw in some carbs to replenish yourself if it was an intense workout. It doesn't have to be immediate, but if you haven't eaten in several hours, make it a priority. Last but not least, find ways to make this easy on yourself so that it can become a lifestyle. The best plan is the one that you can stick with for the long term. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below. If you'd like help putting this information into practice in your own life, you can apply for coaching in the description. Have a great day.